Yo, what up, everyone? Welcome back to the One Piece versus 4K podcast, where we compare the One Piece 4 Kids anime to the Funimation dub and sometimes sub and throw in comparisons to the manga. I'm Ben,
I'm Rom.
and yeah, we're on episode 65 of the 4 Kids anime today.
We're in episode 97.
Nice, almost breaking 100.
Yep.
Nice. Uh, yeah, well, yeah, what's been going on in the world of One Piece?
A lot. So the One Piece manga, it's kind of gone back to a crawl a bit. Where I think we get like a chapter, and there's like weeks, not weeks, but like there's a chapter, and then there's a break, and then there's another chapter, and then there's another break. Um, Although, one thing I think fans do have to realize is that Oda just had like eye surgery, so there's probably some recovery that's needed for that. So he probably needs to take it slow for a while. I think they say that like it takes a few months to recover from like LASIK for astigmatism, or sorry, cataract surgery for astigmatism. I'm not sure. He got one of those eye surgeries. So so I think that's part of the reason why like there's all these delays, but the other thing is also due to the fact that the four kids not four kids sorry the live action release is coming up, so I think he's doing a lot of press for that. um I think some fans are like saying he's having to do too much for the live action, when in reality like the live action is all completely filmed, it's done, it's like all of it is done. Now it's just promotional stuff, and I don't think that's really what's like causing these delays. I think it's just recovery from the eye surgery, that's causing some delays. So yeah, it's gonna be like apparently it's gonna be like so we're getting a chapter this Sunday, and then there will be another break, and then I think we'll get like another chapter, and I'm not sure if we'll get another break because technically we just came off a break. Like basically, so the chapter that came out on Sunday, that's going to come out on Sunday. Last Sunday we didn't have a chapter. The previous Sunday we did, so it's like two chapters in a month basically. Uh, so that's why like I think some people are thinking that there's a slowdown, especially considering the fact that we had a month off, because Oda had the surgery and he needed to recover. But yeah, I think the recovery from that, as well as certain press stuff that he needs to do for the live action. Although I do think that the press tour for the live action is probably going to come to an end, um, especially by Thursday, because the live action is going to be released on Thursday. If it is, because one thing we don't know is if they're going to drop it all in one go, or if they're going to do like episode by episode. If it is episode, like they release one episode like on Thursday, and then they release another episode, let's say like the following Thursday, then there is a chance that part of the reason there's all these breaks is because he's still doing some production work with the live action show. But I think the live action show is probably fully complete. So yeah, because I think one of the actors, I think he said they finished filming, I think sometime last year. So yeah, but yeah, the live action is coming out on Thursday, as we're recording. So I'm looking forward to that. That's kind of what's happening with the live action one. With the manga, um, is we're getting like one of the more highly anticipated fights in the manga. I say it's highly anticipated because this is going to be the first fight that happens with a character that Luffy actually lost to pre time skip, that he never beat. He never really lost to them as much as this guy just completely dominated Luffy's entire crew before someone else had to step in to kind of take over, and kind of basically protect the crew. Um, and that kind of led to other stuff, which eventually led to the time skipping stuff. So they're finally facing off against this character, like in the upcoming chapters. So it's a highly anticipated fight. It's something that's very exciting, and I think everyone pretty much, and this is like the first kind of true test of their growth, because this is a person who they really, really struggle with and were outclassed. pre-time skip that we're gonna see. All right, how much did they actually level up? Because when Wano ended, there was another character of that same level who came into Wano, and he easily defeated two characters who were like these highly touted fighters and stuff. Um, Granted, some people think it's only because the two fighters were like heavily injured from their fights and were still in recovery when he got attacked. So some people were saying that and stuff. So we don't really know. But yeah, this is a highly anticipated fight that everybody's looking forward to. Um, but the thing is, I think everyone kind of knows how it's going to end because, like in previous chapters, they talked about this incident that happened on that island, which is going to be an incident that's going to be known for a long time as the Egghead Island incident or something. So I think it's going to talk about the first time a pirate defeated a character of this stature. A character, a pirate. It'll be the first time a pirate defeated um, a person of this position in the Navy, basically. That's basically what the story is probably going to be. But you know, it'll be interesting to find out what happens. The fight is just about to start soon, so it's exciting. The last panel from the last chapter was just, oh yeah, this person came, and Luffy was like, oh yeah, a really strong person came and stuff. So, pretty excited for that in the manga. In the anime, um, I don't know if we talked about it last time, but so the highly anticipated Gear 5 event happened. It was really great. Everyone really enjoyed it. And the big fight is actually about to conclude soon. Actually, based on like the previews for the next two episodes, I think it's actually going to end within the next 3 to 4 episodes, because there's going to be a couple of like moves that's probably going to happen the next episode. Um, and at the end of the next episode, there's going to be this one final big move. And then the following week, I think will be the anticipated flashback um, for this large character that happened. People thought that in the manga they really sped through his flashback, and they thought they should have given him more time for the flashback and stuff. So maybe the anime will do it more justice and give like a more fleshed out backstory than what the manga did. So we'll have to see. And then once that happens, then there'll be like the big move, and then like probably like the following episode is probably going to be the one big conclusion, and then it's going to be kind of like the wrapping around of the then it's going to be basically like the final act where they kind of wrap up everything, you know. So that is basically what's happening in the anime right now, is that we're getting really close to the end of the fight, which I think will end in the next 4 episodes, maybe five, but I think four. um so yeah, that's kind of where we're at with the anime, where we're at with the manga, and yeah, the live action highly anticipated. And maybe we'll dedicate should we dedicate like an episode to just reviewing the live action, or do you want to like dedicate like a portion of each of our podcast episodes into reviewing
Uh,
like an episode?
Maybe the next episode we do, we could just do a review on the live action, and that'll be the next episode.
Yeah, okay, I guess yeah, we could dedicate like one episode specifically for that. So yeah, that's kind of been what's been going on with the world of One Piece. What's been going on with you? What's been going on in the gaming realm?
uh, I been playing a lot of this Digimon game that I got a long time back called Digimon Cyber Sleuth Hacker's Memory. Uh,
Mm.
uh, I'm starting to enjoy the game, but one of the things, this is going to sound absolutely ridiculous to you. I'm almost 80 hours into the game now.
Oh my
Uh,
god.
yeah. I the thing is though, I must have left my PlayStation on for some time, I think a couple times, because I don't see how I could be already at 80 hours and I'm only
Mhm.
in chapter 11 out of 18.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, some of it must have been due to letting my PlayStation idle. But it's a long game, and like one of the things that annoys me about the game is all of the dialogue in it. There's just a bunch of useless like side missions, and the dialogue just goes on and on and on, and it like drives me crazy. It's like I'll like read like I feel like I'll read like the first sentence of the dialogue, and
Hmm.
I'll get the gist of what the whole mission is about, and then everything after that is just all filler that doesn't matter.
Oh
And
wow.
and it's just like, oh my gosh, I'm just sitting here cycling through this. So like what I've really been doing is only paying attention for like the first or second sentence of the dialogue, and then waiting till the mission wraps up, and then like reading the last sentence, and then I'm like, okay, I got the gist of what happened. Uh I don't know. I'm like really into it now though because I want to beat it, and I've like been having an okayish time with the combat. But at this point, I just if I've dedicated this much time to it, I'm not quitting. I just
Yeah.
want to beat it. Um, yeah, so I played a lot of that over the past couple days. Um, actually, I don't know. It's like I played so much you'd think I'd be tired of it, but I'm like so determined to beat it now that that's like all I want to do now. It's just beat it
No,
so
I
I can
feel
get it
that
out of
out.
the way. Um, but other than that, I we finished, we started and finished Mandalorian season 3 since the last podcast, I guess, sometime in between. We finished it like this weekend. Um, and
Okay.
then we already got caught up on the first 2 episodes of Ahsoka. And yeah, really, season 3 of Mandalorian to me was just all right. Um,
Okay.
it wasn't as good as season 1 and 2. There were some cheesy parts of it, I felt like. But so far, Ahsoka has, I've been really enjoying it. And like the main thing with Ahsoka is like I really enjoyed Star Wars Rebels, and people say that this is basically like season 5 of Star Wars Rebels, and it really is,
Mm.
man. Like one of the really cool things that they've done, like even speaking of like live action here, because Rebels was 3D animated show, so it was an animated show, but the last like few minutes of the second episode of Ahsoka was
Uh-huh.
the exact same last few minutes of Star Wars Rebels. So like they recreated it in live action, and it was so cool, man. Like
Oh,
seeing
okay.
that in live action. So yeah, I'm really interested in how the show is gonna go, but I will say it does seem like um, I don't know. It seems like this is gonna be like one of those seasons where it's just like really getting the foundation for the story, and it feels
Mm.
to me it feels like the story is not gonna really like start getting bigger um till season 2. So
Okay,
well,
okay.
we'll have to wait and see. But so far, I think it's pretty good. I think the best Star Wars thing out of the recent stuff that I had watched was Andor. That was such a great show.
So, okay, so okay, okay. All right, so I guess like yeah, so this show is kind of along that same time, like same timeline as like basically Clone Wars and stuff.
No, this is way after Clone Wars because this is no, this is way after Clone Wars. Like Ahsoka's like, I guess she doesn't really like, she's not like a human, so she doesn't age the same. But this
Okay,
is way
so
after. This is like after. Um, I I mean, this is before the new trilogy, right? But I think it's
okay.
still happening. Man, now.
Yeah, they're kind of like, since they jump around the timeline so much, it kind of gets confusing. And it's like, all right, so it's like they had 4, 5, and 6 back in the 70s and 80s, and then like they had 1, 2, and 3 in like the 2000s, and then it's like Clone Wars is sometime between, I think, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, 5, and 6, because I think Clone Wars,
Yes.
they made a reference to that in 4, 5, and 6. Um, and then what was that standalone Star Wars movie? I forget the name, but like,
Rogue One.
yeah, Rogue One.
That
That was featured
happens.
right before 4, when they go and destroy
Yes.
that island in front of her. Um, so so it's like, yeah, so there's that. um and then, like, obviously, and then I don't know how much further into the future the new one was with Kylo Ren and stuff. I don't know if that was 789. But yeah, it's like 789. There's that. And then is
So Rebels. Okay, so Star Wars Rebels ends 1 year before A New Hope.
Okay, 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 okay.
So if I wonder if Ahsoka takes place during A New Hope.
And they need to get their timelines set, man. This kind of jumping around like the different timelines is confusing the heck out.
Oh no, Ahsoka takes place 9 years after A New Hope.
Okay, A New Hope is what,
The
like,
episode 4.
between episode 4 and 5?
Huh? A New Hope
Before?
is episode 4.
Okay, this is after episode 4.
This takes place 9 years after episode 4.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. So there's a good chance
So
it
this takes
was.
place
Oh,
before The Force Awakens.
okay, 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 okay.
Yeah.
Dude, like
Yeah,
the
it is really
timing.
confusing because there's so many shows. It is really confusing to figure out where they take place.
Yeah, and like, they can't do crossovers because of that.
Yeah, but
Because yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, like, so I think I told you I finished season 1. I just haven't started season 2 yet.
yeah, I think you really like season 2. Um,
Yeah, is Bill Burr in season 3 at some point? Because it's like, I heard he was, like, he was in season 1.
he's
I heard he was in season 2. Is he in season 3 as well?
no, he's not in season 3.
Oh,
I
dang.
don't,
Okay.
I don't remember. I don't think he is in season 3.
Okay.
But the
Okay.
weird thing is like, so here's the thing, and I kind of hate how they did this, but before season 3 of A Mandalorian, you want to watch Book of Boba Fett because that takes place before season 3.
Okay.
And what's really dumb about the Book of Boba Fett is there's like the last part of that show is literally just like season, I feel like season 2.5 of uh Mandalorian, and I hate that they did that. It's just like, man, what were you thinking? Like,
Yeah,
why
because
do we
like,
need to pit these characters in here? Like, I get that you're trying to say that it's taking place at the same time, but like, what the hell?
and like the Mandalorian takes place between episode 6 and episode 7, right?
Mm.
Episode 6 is the last of the 80s episode. Like, it's the last one where
Yes.
Darth Vader reveals that he's like Luke's father and stuff, and it all ends. And then episode 7 is Kylo Ren, the first episode of Kylo Ren. So is the Mandalorian between those two episodes, 6 and 7? Because that's what I heard, is that it's definitely not like before episode 1. Like, it's not way into that, but there's a chance it's like between episode 6 and episode.
Mandalorian takes place after episode 6.
Yeah, 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 but before episode 7.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like,
Yeah, and
I'm
it
sure
looks like
I'm sure
Ahsoka takes
they
place right before episode 7, but it's gonna
yeah.
probably go into after, like happening after.
Yeah, between 7 and 8. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's probably someone who there's like probably a website that's dedicated to like recording the chronological orders of
Yeah, I'm
everything.
looking at a picture now that actually explains it like a lot better.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's actually easier to see like looking at a graphic than it is anything else
yeah,
because it's like, well, where the hell does this fit in?
yeah.
Um, yeah,
Unlike One Piece, which is just one linear thing.
yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's like there's pre-time skip and then there's after time skip. There's no, oh yeah, no, this happened here, this happened. Well,
Unless they come out with
actually,
a movie that takes place, unless they come out with a movie now that takes place pre time skip.
I mean, the movies in general are all non-canon.
Okay,
When
I
it
don't believe that. I still don't believe that.
what they're all non-canon.
Except for One Piece Red.
Dude, I mean, if they made it canon, I think everyone would lose their mind trying to figure out when everything was when, because like, and usually in these One Piece movies, like, okay, this is like major spoiler alerts. Okay,
Well, then let's
so
not get into it. Let's just go. Let's just go into the episode here.
well, no, I mean the reason I say that it can be canon is because like there are like stretches where certain characters are separated from the story, and the thing with the movies are that the characters are all together in the movies, um, all the new crew members, everything, and like yeah, so it's like if they try to do something like that, like I think fans would. I mean, like during one of Luffy's bounty jumps, a bunch of his crews weren't there, but the bounty jump was in the movie. So it would be like, and then there's like certain characters who haven't met in the show, but they like see each other in the movies and they're like, what? And all that. So, yeah, it's like, yeah, no, like,
Though they need to come out with a they need to come out with a movie that takes place right after season one.
they did. There's actually a bunch of movies, like,
No, I'm talking
actually,
about what if they come out with one now?
oh, that's after season one. They kind of did that. Well, so it's before season one. They made like a prequel to
Oh
season
my
one. They
god.
just inserted that into one of the just because of the movie that came out, Film Red. They had to do like a little prequel to One Piece in connections with the movie and stuff. So they had to do something like that. But no, like so I didn't realize is there's actually like movies of One Piece, like before the end of the East Blue arc, before the entire crew joined, there's like apparently a movie that just featured the trio of Zoro, Luffy, and Nami that I think I need to look into.
Yeah, then you're gonna
Um,
watch all the One Piece movies, man. What are
I,
you waiting
I, I
on?
am going to eventually. The thing is, I have access to all the One Piece movies too. Like because they're all in Crunchyroll, so I need to watch them. Maybe I'll like slowly watch one per night or something and do that. Um, yeah, maybe I'll do something like that where I just watch one per night.
Yeah, and
Because
then
yeah,
get a
there is like a
letterbox account and then review all of them in a paragraph.
yeah, yeah, something. Um, yeah. Usually, like I think with every arc, there's usually sorry, every saga there's one movie and then one filler.
Actually, just watch the movies and then just record a solo podcast of your thoughts on every
Yeah,
single movie.
yeah, sure.
Yeah, and then do it all in one day. I'm just kidding.
Oh man,
uh,
I guess we're gonna become Linus Tech Tips now. We're gonna follow that model.
yeah, man. All right, we're getting so far off here. Let's get
Yeah.
into episode 65. So the name of my episode is Humps, Bumps, and Chumps.
The name of my episode is Adventure in the Country of Sand, the monsters that live in the scorching land.
Okay.
I'm curious to see if this episode was skipped in 4 Kids, but let's see.
I don't think so. With what you just said, the title was about.
Okay.
So episode opens with a random shot of dinosaurs and Luffy looking for the shade because he's, uh, according to him,
Huh.
sweated out.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. Nami tells him to shut up, and Chopper is seen being pulled by what looks like a sleigh. Um, Usopp says, "You're a reindeer. How about you get to work?" Chopper transforms into uh, the chopper on, well, the bigger chopper,
Yeah. Human chopper. Human
human
chopper.
chopper, yeah, and tells him reindeers don't make rain. Sanji asks Vivi how she keeps her cool, and she says she was born and raised here. Luffy says he's really thirsty. Nami says drink one mouthful, and he takes a huge gulp. Nami says no balloon cheeks and slaps it out of his mouth. It's now night and freezing, and Luffy is saying to Sanji, hurry up and finish cooking. Chopper is looking at the stars and says he's never seen so many stars at once. Usopp asks if he can pretend that he's a teddy bear so he can hug him and get warm. Chopper gets angry again and transforms. Yeah, anything different here?
Sort of like yeah. So basically, I mean, Usopp doesn't make that reindeer jokes. He basically talks about how Chopper is whining, but he's like laying down and like getting dragged. And Chopper's like, "Hey, I'm a reindeer with heavy fur. It's like too hot here." No, Usopp tells Chopper to take off the fur or something, but yeah, Chopper says, "No, I'm a reindeer. This is just natural or something." He gets really mad, and then Usopp's like, "Monster!" And then Zoro turns to him and he like pushes him down back to his base form, and tells him like, "Hey, if you don't get back to that small form, well, I'm not gonna pull you anymore." So then Chopper goes back to laying down because obviously he's a reindeer, heavy fur. He's gonna be like super hot.
Mm-hmm.
So it switches to night, and actually there is one other argument. Oh yeah, it switches to night, and then same thing. Like Usopp is like, "Hey Chopper, get here. Let's like get your warmth from your fur or something." And Chopper turns around, like turns into humanoid again, and then Luffy jumps on him and turns him back into his base form again. So yeah, he doesn't make reindeer jokes. So there's just that. But yeah, besides that, everything is pretty much the same for the most part. Although like during the cold weather, Luffy's like, "Hey Sanji, finish cooking," and Sanji's like, "Yeah, just wait." And then I think he starts to take a bite of something, and Sanji's like, "Don't eat that; it's still raw." So yeah, um, yeah.
I mean, they really make Usopp pretty dumb in the Four Kids anime by him thinking reindeers make rain.
I mean, it's just yeah, it's for kids.
Also, it's really dumb. I mean, like, who? All right. I mean, we don't even have to get into how stupid that is, but like, no one's
I
ever
mean,
thought that a reindeer made rain.
yeah. I mean, the thing is, Usopp's one of the smarter members of the crew too.
Yeah. So we now see Trey sitting by the fire. Vivi says, "I bet you're surprised Luffy is the captain." She says he's a goofball, but at least he always comes through. Trey says, "Give him time; he'll mature." How he's acting doesn't surprise him because he's his kid brother. Vivi says, "I guess there's nothing to worry about." Trace says, "I wouldn't go that far." All of a sudden, Luffy says he caught a shrimp as he's holding up a scorpion. Vivi says, "Throw that thing away," and it's a dangerous, poisonous scorpion. He tosses it and asks Nami if, or he tosses it and Nami asks Chopper if he hears what she's sensing. Chopper says, "Look out." Another wind tornado starts rolling in. Vivi tells everyone to take cover as this is the biggest sandstorm yet. It engulfs them as Luffy screams, "It's nothing but sandstorms around here." Vivi says she forgot how many there were. As Usopp says, "Stop saying sorry, just start spilling the beans." Uh, all of a sudden, it's daytime. The sand has engulfed them as they wake up. Luffy says, "Anyone ready for a sandwich?" As he asks for some more food. Anything different here?
No, I think that's all pretty similar. So basically, wait, you said Chopper asks for food?
No, Luffy asks for food.
Oh, okay.
I might have said
It's
yep. He asked for
so.
food and he says anyone want a sandwich like sand.
Oh yeah. No, I think that's all pretty much similar. Yeah. Yeah, they find a scorpion and then like yeah, Vivi's like, "Oh no, that's a poisonous scorpion. Don't eat that." And then yeah, they see the sandstorm and Vivi is like, "Yo, hide behind a rock." Um and yeah, yeah, so like yeah, a lot of it's like very similar in that aspect. So yeah.
Okay. Vivi says they will stop and eat at the next rock formation. Vivi then says, "Let's." Uh, Luffy says, "Let's play rock paper scissors, and whoever wins has to carry all the stuff." Usopp notices how stupid it is, and Sanji says, "Someone stop him before he thinks again." Luffy wins and starts carrying everything, as Nami says the winner had better stay ahead of the pack. Sanji says he better start pulling his own weight. Usopp notices a rock formation and says, "Let's eat," as Luffy runs fastly towards it and says, "Finally, shade." Luffy then stumbles onto a bunch of famished birds in the desert as he grabs one and runs towards the crew, letting Chopper know that a whole bunch of birds are hurt. Vivi says, "Are you talking about big white birds?" as they notice all their stuff is gone when they get back. Vivi says these Volker herons are birds that trick people and steal their supplies. Sanji's pissed and says, "How many times does he have to say it?" Just he can't believe the birds let them, clean them out. Zolo tells them to stop as Trace says to leave them alone and let them fight and get it out of their system. Zolo says he's right, and they will find food soon. We now see the birds taking a sip of the water as Luffy chases them down. They start flying away as Luffy continues to chase them, calling them thieves. Anything different here?
No, a lot of it's similar. Yeah, it was kind of like yeah, so basically he suggests they do, rock, paper, scissors. Um to have and then he says the winner carries that, and then Nami's like, "Wait, don't you mean the loser?" And he doesn't get he doesn't like respond before like he says, "All right, rock, paper, scissors." And then obviously Luffy wins. Everyone, I guess, like intentionally loses, and he's like, "Why do I have to carry everything?" And then Nami's like, "You made the rule that the winner has to carry everything." So, and then yeah, then he spots that and he runs over, and then yeah, he spots the white birds, and yeah, Vivi talks about, and this is starting to like, yeah, it's starting to begin pattern where Vivi's like, "Oh no, you shouldn't have done that. There are
Yeah.
these like things
She
and
forgets to say everything
there."
until it
Yeah,
happens.
basically, and so yeah, they chase after the birds when Luffy is beating up when Sanji's beating up Luffy, they see the birds and they chase after it. So yeah.
Yeah. So all of a sudden, one of the birds crashes as he notices huge plants coming up from the sand. One of them tries to bite Luffy, and then I guess he like next thing you know, it's like knocked out. So Luffy says that he must have choked. Uh, Anything that I missed here? I mean, I didn't. It just seemed like they might have cut something. Like all of a sudden, the plant was knocked out.
You see the plant eat Luffy and then swallow and then like swallow him and go down.
I mean, what do you mean go down?
So basically, it's like so yeah, like you see all these plants coming up and biting and stuff, and then one of them bites Luffy and takes him in entirely and swallows him, and then like before it could go down fully, you just hear a snap, and then you see like Luffy. Actually, it takes him in, it swallows him, and then it goes underground, and then next thing you know, it comes back up, and then like something happens, and then it gets cut open, and you see Luffy standing there, and the plant perishes because Luffy like basically cut it open basically.
Yeah, but it doesn't show you much detail. So I don't think
Oh,
there's
okay, okay,
anything
okay.
cut. I don't think
Oh,
there's
okay, okay,
anything cut, to be honest.
but it does show Luffy getting eaten by the
Yeah,
plant.
yeah,
Oh, okay. Then yeah. No
yeah.
cuts.
All right, so Yeah, we then see it trying to eat a camel as Luffy performs a gum gum attack on it, letting loose the camel. Luffy says he hopes that's the last of weird things in the desert and asks the camel if he's going to try and eat him. We now see a big sinkhole opening up in the sand as the camel looks in fear. A huge heap or wave of sand starts coming up towards him and the camel. Back at the camp, everyone is wondering where Luffy is. Nami says he's always running off on his own and getting into trouble. Sanji says, "Relax. He's a rubber band. Don't they always come back?" As or don't they always bounce back? As Zolo and Sanji agree to go look for him. Trace says Luffy's lucky to have friends who care. Now the gang realizes that the sand waves coming in as the camel and Luffy are running in towards them. Usopp says it's Luffy as they're seen, running towards him quickly. Zolo can't tell what it is, but he says it's hidden under the sand as Sanji asks, "What is it?" All of a sudden, a huge purple sand lizard named a Sandora dragon is heading for them. Trace says Luffy's always getting into trouble. Zolo and Sanji prepare for an attack as Luffy says he brought them back some dinner. They all three kind of like perform an attack on the Sandora dragon at once, knocking it out. Usopp says it didn't stand a chance, as Nami says she almost feels bad for it. Um, Sanji asks anyone wants the leg of the lizard. Now, as he's saying that, another lizard appears, as Vivi says she forgets that they always come in packs. Everyone says, of course, as Trace jumps up in his mouth, saying things are going to heat up. All of a sudden, he's out of the mouth and the lizard is burnt. Anything different here? I'll leave it here.
I mean, it's similar for the most part. So basically, yeah, Luffy spots the camel, and then um, he then says, "What are you doing there?" And then it just starts yelling at him, and then he's like, "Do you want me to help you?" And the camel waves his head yes, and then he just slaps the. I mean, he hits. He punches the plant, and the plant just perishes right there. And then yeah, they run away. So back in the thing, there is like a difference right there where Nami and Sanji they're just kind of complaining about Luffy about how he runs off and does his own thing constantly, and then Ace is like, "I apologize for my brother being the way he is and stuff," and then they just kind of look back and smile at him, almost like, "Yeah, it's okay." And then the next thing you know, like there's Luffy and the camel are running back. And you see this big thing coming in, and then Zoro and Sanji go to help Luffy fight it off, and they do, and then yeah, they attack it, and then Nami says that because of how hard they attack those three together, she almost feels sad for the animal. And then as that happens, another one comes back, and Vivi's like, "Oh yeah, no, these things. I was so capped up in this. I totally forgot to tell you guys that these thing comes in pairs." And then everyone's like, yeah, we'd always be late or something. They're just making fun of how like it's like a repeating pattern of her always saying stuff after like it happens. Um, and then yeah, so Ace is like, man, there's a lot of these animals that need to be handled out in the desert or something. And then the Sandor dragon eats him. And then next thing you know, there's just like he just goes flame on or something. He doesn't say anything, but you just see
It
flames
says
coming
flame
out of
on,
the
like
yeah,
like the superhero.
yeah. He doesn't say flame on, but it would be badass if he does though. But yeah, no. Next thing you know, like fire's coming out of its mouth and nose, and then it's just like there's a huge like fire thing, and then it's just completely toasted. Um, and then next thing, yeah. So basically, they just basically defeated both of those. So yeah, I think that's where you're currently at right now.
Flame on like Johnny Storm from Fantastic Four.
Yeah,
That's
Johnny
what I was
Storm.
thinking.
Yeah, I was
Um,
thinking the same thing. He was a Fantastic Four guy, but I totally forgot. But yeah.
yeah. All right. So Sanji says the rocks make good frying pans as they are cooking the lizard. The gang asks what's up with the camel as Chopper says he remembers he helped him out of a jam a while back. Usopp says they have a cool ride as Luffy tries to get on him. The camel then tells Luffy to get up, and Chopper says he doesn't give a ride to guys. And then it looks at Nami and gives a like a heart face. Nami names him Eyelash as she welcomes Vivi to get on too. Zola says, big surprise that she stole their ride. Usopp says it's a lovesick camel, and Zolo says it's worse than Sanji. Sanji gets pissed. The gang then proceeds onwards through the desert, and now we see a ship racing through the desert with a silhouette of a bigger pirate and a skinnier pirate as the episode ends.
So yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised that this part was censored a bit. So yeah, they spot the camel, and then Chopper is like, "Oh yeah, this is the camel that helped me out when I got stuck in like some like weapons traffickers and stuff." So then Usopp's like, "Great, yeah, it makes sense. This isn't like a normal wild camel. This is a carriage camel because they point out how like the camel has like a seat in the back and stuff." And then Usopp's like, "Okay, this is gonna make our trip a little easier because we can, sit on it and go." And Luffy tries to sit on, and then it bites him and like tries to get him off, and he gets off. And then he like just says a bunch of stuff, and then Chopper translates for him, and he basically talks about how while he is grateful for Luffy for helping him out, he is he doesn't allow guys to ride him. He only allows girls to ride him. And then after he says that, like Sanji, Luffy, and Usopp just said, point, like kick him over and over and over. And then he's like, I only give rides to ladies because I'm macho, and then they just continue kicking him over and over.
The
And then
camel?
yeah, the camel.
Oh
Yeah,
man,
they kick the
I'm
camel.
glad they took that out, man.
Yeah, they kick the camel, and then Nami comes over and like rubs the camel's like chin, and then it gets hard eyes from Nami, um, and she's like, "Well, aren't you like a nice camel or something?" And and then she's like, "What name should we name you?" And then Luffy, Usopp, and Sanji were like, "Pervert camel, pervert, camel pervert," basically something like that. And she's like, "Eyelash," and Zoro was like, "How did you get that name?" Um, and then yeah, Vivi says she doesn't want to ride on the camel, but Nami insists that she just does. She doesn't need to think of it too much and just to get on the camel. And they get on the camel, and then yeah, we shift to the scene with the big pirate ship on the sand and like these other pirates, and yeah, the episode ends right there.
Damn, man, I can't believe they're so abusive to animals, man. My favorite character in One Piece. They're dicks.
Yeah, it's kind of like how they like censored out. Was it Kaiba who kicked the cat in that, or was it in Sailor Moon where the kid kicked the cat? There was something where apparently in the original anime, like the guy kicked the cat, but obviously when once it came to America, they're like, oh yeah, we can't show this, so they cut out the thing, and the guy just stares like menacingly at the cat, and the cat gets scared and runs away or something. When in reality, in the anime, the guy kicked the cat and the cat gets scared and runs away. I forget
Hmm.
which one it was. I don't know if it was Sailor Moon or if it was Yu-Gi-Oh. It might have been Sailor Moon because I think I'm confusing with Yu-Gi-Oh. Where I think in Yu-Gi-Oh, in the original anime, not the 4 Kids one, but in the or whoever did it. Apparently, in the original one, I think Kaiba's parents apparently like committed suicide or something. I'm not sure, and it was apparently too dark for the American audience, so they're like they're just not there or something. So yeah, I
Apparently,
mean this one
apparently,
isn't that dark. It's just comically like kicking a camel, like it's not like too intense, but whatever.
that's too dark, man. Apparently, apparently, you can ride Eyelash in One Piece Odyssey.
Okay. So I guess he makes an appearance in One Piece Odyssey.
Yep.
There is this weird thing that people it's hilarious. So this is going to be a controversial thing what I'm about to talk about, but basically Nico Robin uh okay, whatever. We're about to find out her. We're about to so there's this character in One Piece, um, and she's like in the first half, she's uh like brown tan, and then in the second half, after the time skip, she magically becomes white, and uh, and then there's like all sorts of controversy over why they made this character white and didn't keep her as brown, um, and basically he and like the reason was that Oda originally intended for this character to be apparently the real life inspiration was Russian, so and like the manga colored version always had her as white, but for some reason the anime went with the brown skin or something. There was a whole lot of controversy. One of the stupidest things that people talked about was how she's brown in the anime because she's been in the desert for many, many years. And she became white because she was during the time skip. She was in a cold area apparently during the time skip, and that's why she became all white. It was like the dumbest thing because Vivi is from Alabasta and she's still white, you know?
Mm,
So it completely throws that logic off about all the whole like, oh yeah, she's tan because she was in the desert for several years kind of bullshit. Like it was like a hilarious thing that people try to speculate as to why she was this way and that. It's like a purely good controversy that was there. It's something that needed to be asked. But the way some fans like talked it off, it's like that's so stupid, you know.
yeah.
But yeah,
Well,
um, yeah, yeah. That's pretty much the end of the episode. I guess like maybe like we'll do like a little special dedicated to just the live action.
yeah. Well,
It should be fun.
yeah, we'll come back then. We'll see how long it takes me to watch all the episodes.
Yeah. Hopefully, yeah. Since we do these every 2 weeks, hopefully, okay. So it comes out this Thursday. It's gonna come out in 2 days.
I mean, I'll at least watch the first episode this week.
Yeah, I think I'll definitely watch the first episode on Thursday, and then I'll slowly trickle, like episode by episode. Well, obviously, we have the long weekend coming up.
Oh yeah,
Probably catch a couple of episodes. Granted, it's been a long. It's more like a long 3 months for me. So
yeah,
but that's something else. But yeah, long weekend's coming up. But yeah, I'll probably watch like an episode on Thursday, and then maybe I'll watch like a couple of episodes the following days or something. There's only what 8 episodes or something, I think. So
yeah. So it should be doable.
yeah, I don't know how long each episode's gonna be. I'm kind of guessing it's gonna be an hour each. But how long were the episodes for Cowboy Bebop?
I can't remember, man.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, it's interesting how little we know. I think they did say. I think I did read somewhere that it is going to be released all at once.
Yeah. From
But
the
it
reviews that I read of the first episode, it's gonna be apparently a lot of people like they did change a bunch of stuff and rewrote a bunch of stuff. Um, so that ought to be interesting. So yeah,
and
I'm
it
looking forward to
people
it.
are saying each episode is around an hour long. It looks like
Okay,
so.
okay. Yeah, makes sense.
Yep.
All right, cool,
Yeah.
man.
We'll see everyone after the episode drops. But yeah, thanks for listening.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.